These are 14-week-old pullets that have not had their beaks trimmed. The farm manager of a grouphousenet GmbH in Nordharz in Saxony-Anhalt is Jörg Trzeziak. The trained agriculturalist is responsible for over 100,000 pullets that he rears on a contract basis for various customers. He rears 15,000 of his birds as part of the model and demonstration projects on animal welfare financed by the Federal Ministry of Food and Agriculture. The project sponsor is the German Federal Research Center for Agriculture and Nutrition. The hens in his model poultry house always have something to do. Our experience with enrichment material has been good. We're happy to provide it because the birds need it. We believe it reduces feather pecking. In this pullet you can see the worn down beak, which means the bird has been using the pecking stone. If feather pecking does occur despite the measures taken, there are fewer injuries. Trzeziak attends regular network meetings. Here, chicken farmers taking part in the model and demonstration projects on animal welfare exchange ideas and talk about their personal experiences. Exchanging ideas with other participants was very important to us. Other farms might do things differently. You learn about new methods, ways to handle chickens. One of the key innovations in the house is regular close observation of the birds. Observation is essential for us, so you can identify even the smallest errors and respond accordingly. Something can start with the individual and go on to affect the whole flock, and then you might not be able to correct it. Working with animal welfare advisor Christiane Kepler, Trzeziak today wants to assess the condition of his hen's plumage. Regular scoring enables him to check the success of individual welfare measures.
What works especially well is that we provide pecking stones, sand, and litter materials in the first 2 weeks of life, in fact from day 1, and then the birds come out after 14 days and can go into the litter area. It's important that henhouse staff learn to assess the birds correctly. This means we always score together regularly, so they become confident at scoring themselves and gradually take this over into their daily inspections. And they learn to keep an eye on the birds from the start and to spot any changes immediately, and to intervene if something is wrong.
The resulting data can be recorded and evaluated in the management tool, specially developed for this purpose. By using a traffic light classification, the farm manager can immediately identify where he needs to make welfare improvements. By reducing the stocking density from 23 to 15 birds per square meter, Trzeziak is convinced that the birds gain weight better and the birds are calmer. We don't think chick quality has been examined closely enough. In other words, what are the effects of poor hatching and weak chicks? If we rear the chicks, we rear birds that are weak to begin with, which are the first to be pecked, and so it can be passed on to the flock. And what are the most important success factors for Trzeziak to get feather pecking under control? If there is stress in the flock, you should always check that the climate in the house is right. It should be geared to the flock and the birds. The lighting should be adapted, so no flickering lights and not too bright. Feed should be uniform and tailored to the birds, so these factors need to be taken into account and addressed on a daily basis. Jörg Trzeziak's example shows that it's possible to keep pullets with untrimmed beaks in a conventional farming system. Trzeziak has had minimal losses due to feather pecking for several months now. Even small changes in the house have positive effects on animal welfare. But the example also shows that such production is more expensive. The additional expense is much higher. We put out more enrichment material, which increases the costs and time involved, which is a cost as well. This is reflected in the price of the pullet. You need to get more money for your pullet, and this has to be paid by the trade or the consumer. Trzeziak also uses unusual methods to make his hens more resistant to stress. We bought the radios in order to make the birds more balanced and calmer. Thanks to the different sounds and volumes we feel, and you can see this in the birds, that they are getting calmer.